You are in the club. I am Sushant Mehta, back with the best from the world of entertainment. We are in Mumbai today, and guess who we are with? The one and only Shah Rukh Khan. Thank you for joining us on India Today Television. I've been looking forward to this film since last year. It was supposed to release last year. You told me that you were in the post-production stage later on in 2016. Now we've seen the promos, lot of buzz about this film. I absolutely love when you do a character full of rage. I mean, we remember Bazigar, Dar, Anjam, even Dawn, you know. Very convincing characters over the years, and this is also a very different role for you. Talk to me about Raees and this journey. Starting off 2017, Shah Rukh Khan is coming back with Raees.
Thank you, Sushant, for having me on your show. Yes, it's an interesting character, a little different from the ones that you mentioned too, because this one is a little more reality-based, because the job that he does, smuggling, bootlegging, a lot of research went into figuring out how the modalities of this happen in the country, very rampant during the 85s and 90 period, which I wasn't aware of really, to be honest. And I haven't really done characters who are set up in this kind of backdrop. You know, I play more urban characters, even a Dawn and even Bazigar and Dar. We don't know whether they had a backdrop of a less urban upbringing. But Rahul, being a very realistic director, I think he wanted to set it in smaller towns at least, and then keep up with the realism that he had written in the film. Normally he does make more niche films or more realistic films, but very clear on this front that we'll try and broaden the spectrum as far as the audience is concerned. And then that mix was very interesting. So I'm happy to play him. It's not a good guy with a good job. I think it's not something that you can propagate and tell people to be like. But there is always a belief in every character that you play. It's a film, it's a storytelling, it's not real, it's fictional. But somewhere there's always a belief that in every good person, there is that fatal flaw or weakness or badness. Similarly, in every bad person, there is that some redeeming quality, which I believe that God always gives us something within us, which gives you enough time to redeem yourself and be a human being, a good human being.
Okay, and talking about your journey in the industry, which has been incredible. I spoke about Dar and Anjam and all those kind of films. The rage that I talk about, the Shah Rukh Khan rage that we saw on screen for the first time with Dar, when you were obsessed with Juhi in that film, and a lot of people rejected that film, but you went on with it. You were the first guy really who took that risk as a leading man in the industry, and you just owned that role. It became epic, everybody remembered it. Do you think this me against the world kind of roles, that you essayed really well? Do you associate with this kind of this thing? Because people tell me Shah Rukh's just so energetic. He's relentlessly doing his job for the last, I don't know how many decades, and that's why. Do you associate with these guys because they have nothing to lose? They're going all out with these characters.
I think I'm one of the few fortunate actors who are given, the either end of the spectrum kind of roles. I do play the Raj and Rahuls. And I got it post Dar and Bazigar when Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge happened, that I was thought of that, I could play a good guy, and a really good guy, I mean, squeaky clean, so to say, with a little bit of masti or, adding a bit of humor. And I'm fortunate that people can at the same time think of me as someone who goes all out and is against the world and socially perhaps completely wrong. As an actor, as long as it is fiction, what is interesting is because we know very few bad people. Most of the people around the world are good people. And we know very little about bad people, how their mind works, whether they're psychopathic like say Dar, or even a guy like Fan, who was just a low middle class guy, just goes wrong for a moment, or the way the thought process works. So it's interesting, even I would even include someone like a classical character like Devdas, where there is a viciousness, cynicism, anger embedded deep inside a relationship issue with the father. So if you can layer them, it becomes very interesting for an actor. And yes, this is all out and out, he is he lives in a bad world. He does the job that everybody around him does. So it becomes interesting, the power that he has to essay, the kind of control he has, and specifically in this movie because it ranges from the age of about 9 to 45. So for me to change the voice, the gait, and how the people in his life affect him, the expressions change with that. Of course, the look and all changes, which is a physical attribute. But I really enjoy doing a bad person sometimes because it is. at best, how can I say it? It's liberating,
Yes.
you know, just go out and do something off the cuff like that.
I think it's more creative because you're not like that in real life, so you can have more fun with it, that you experiment with it. You know?
Absolutely. I think, you know, none of us are like that. So it kind of makes you, like I said, liberated and makes you feel that you can, you know, touch upon other aspects of life which you would never otherwise.
Yeah, as we see in the promos, very colorful. Love the action bits that you know, you're angry and your expression and the look. Apna time shuru. You know, the look is being talked about a lot. You know how you're being presented in this film. Rahul and you, interesting combination for the first time. How did this setup happen, and how did you come on board for this film?
You see, every director has a different point of view when they cast an actor, and I think Rahul anyway is a very different point of view kind of filmmaker. So for him to, as a matter of fact, you know, when they met apparently, I just got to know Farhan and Ritesh and Rahul. Like the first thing was, let's make Shah Rukh do this role. And you know, it's heartening to know that a completely different point of view director comes along and says, okay, I would like Shah Rukh to be in his film. And for me, whatever Rahul thought of the look, I'd go by that because I don't belong to that world. And to me, the earnestness with which he's written the film, the reality-based background that he has, I didn't want to question that at all. So, you know, when he told me this is 80s, obviously the shirts and pants and everything becomes of that time period. But then he said, you know, let's put some coal in your eyes. And I don't know this well, I'll be really honest, you know. So I have to go by his belief and Sheetal, who designed the thing. And, you know, when I come out in that first trailer, I'd shot the trailer on crutches. I'd broken my knee, and I shot it. And when I saw it myself, I was quite amazed that yes, it does look very different from what I've looked. And I called up Rahul and I said, they were very scared of me on the set because I didn't know for some reason. And then when he told me, you know, everybody was scared because you look so intense, which I'm not really. I'm a fun guy. I have a lot of happy moments on the set. So I'm glad it has worked. I'm glad it is being appreciated. And I think it does add to how the character will invoke feelings as you go along in the film.
And there's also a romantic angle, so we get to see all shades of Shah Rukh Khan in this film, especially for the fans who've been waiting for this film.
Yeah, there is, you know, it's not a romantic film, so to say, it's not a love story. But Rahul was very clear that the love story should be inherent in the film. So it starts at 9 years, goes up to 45. Obviously, the lady becomes his wife also halfway through. But, you know, he was very clear that keeping it very subtle, they are smattering of this love story which continue. And the woman's role, I'd like to just mention this, is not someone who's overtly strong. But I think perhaps the role of women in the film is extremely strong, whether it's the mother in his you know, initial periods, when he's kind of impressionable, and then his wife, who stands by him through thick and thin and is always there without being overtly strong, and women otherwise in the film. I think they just kind of help. Here's a guy who's a gangster who's supposed to be badass and mean, but the women like him because they think there is something about him which is endearing, nice and respectful. So I think the heroine's role becomes very important, very different from a regular Bollywood film.
Right, and as you said, you know, very different from a regular Bollywood film. How do you see, Shah Rukh, how do you see 2017 is now beginning? You've had such a long, amazing journey in the industry. How do you see your career henceforth with the subjects that you've signed, starting off with Raees in 2017? Where do you think, you know, there's a lot of anticipation from your fans. This is like a new era in your career now.
I don't want to, you know, take away the importance of people's expectation from me, but I for last 25 years have worked very simply. I just do one film at a time. I enjoy it. I've said this often enough. It's just the state of mind I'm in. I don't pay more attention than that. I don't envisage or design or plan and work out what the next couple of years are going to be like, because at the stage I'm in, or the stage I've been for the last 20 years, you just need to enjoy your work. It is something you've done for 25 years, and you need to keep on invoking that feeling of excitement for everything that you do. So Imtiaz is next, which is fun in its own different way, very different from this film. Edgy love story, really breezy and happy with Anushka. Then there is Mr. Anand Rai's film, which will start, which is completely different, technologically, dwarf. Again, celebrating specially challenged people in a very happy manner. So
that's very interesting, that subject,
it's very interesting, and I don't plan anything more than that. Look, I should plan for 2018, this kind of film, that kind of. It has to be a very personal choice, which I love going on the sets every day with. So I hope my personal choices become universally liked.
But honestly, Shah Rukh, I won't expect you to do a dwarf's character back then, you know, like 10, 15 years ago when you were like just skyrocketing with every new film. You were breaking new ground, and now is the time that you can. Do you think you can experiment much more with the kind of position that you have? Do you think now is the time that you're experimenting much more?
No, I would have done it then also if I was offered. I think Mr. Kamal Hassan has done it way before any of us even thought of it. But I would have done it then also. But I think the technology wasn't available to take it a step further as far as the cinematic quality of this film is concerned. And I think it's come at the right time. Anand is an amazing film writer. He's a happy film writer and has, again, a world which I don't belong to perhaps. And it's really interesting having sat with him and Himanshu to figure this out. I would do it. It's a film. You can't plan films for any other reason but for the fact that you enjoy telling that story. Because if you do it for any other reason, it can get boring and tedious and it'll start showing in your work.
Right, and last time you spoke about expectations, just now also you spoke about expectations from the fans. The fans expect a lot from you, especially because you have such a wide fan base. Talk to me about some of the fan interaction. We saw that sea of people outside Mannat every time, interacting with you. What is some of the feedback that you get from your fans at this time, in your journey?
I don't know, people obviously wish me well. I like that part. They're always hoping and assuming that every film is a blockbuster, reaches. Also, I think there's too much information about how films perform at the box office. So everybody is an expert, but with good feeling, they want me to do well, and I hope I do, and I hope I meet up with their expectations, and I hope I'm able to deliver at whatever scope they think a film should deliver. But having said that, I think the reason people like me so much is that I try to do varied stuff. I've never really thought of, conquering only one aspect of filmmaking, which is the box office or the awards or the critical review or an offbeat film or just a popular genre. I do because I feel happy spreading that story. So keeping in mind the expectations of all the fans, all I can tell them is that, keep praying that I remain healthy. There are enough years in me, enough characters in me, enough feelings in me to, at the end of the journey, be able to have quelled and made everyone satisfied that whatever they wanted, I was able to do.
This is impromptu. He talks like that, Shah Rukh Khan. That's why he's the king. Every answer is just sublime. I also want to know from you, as being a top star in the industry, where do you think cinema is going? A lot of interesting projects. Your contemporaries are still there. You guys have had a fantastic run. Akshay, Salman, Amir, Shah Rukh, even Ajay. Where do you think Indian cinema is right now? And even awards. Awards you spoke about. The credibility of our awards, do you think we need more credibility in Indian awards also? We need to reshape that aspect of the industry as well?
See, I'm no one to comment on that because I go and accept them, I go and host them, I go and participate in them. So I think they're credible enough, and whoever gets the award deserves it. Whoever doesn't get the award doesn't deserve it. It's as simple as that. The criterion is different every time. There might be a public opinion poll, there might be a juried way of choosing it, but whatever. I mean, it's the way of life. If you sit down and start questioning everything that you participate in, it'll seem a little hypocritical.
Because now everybody's talking about how awards are bought. Rishi Kapoor wrote in his book that he bought an award for Bobby in 1972. We are in 2017. Kejriwal just said yes.
I was 8 years old, so I wouldn't know. But having said that, I think whatever, everybody's got their own experiences. I would not like to participate in commenting on someone that I've never been a part of. But having said that, I think, you just need to enjoy yourself, and television is a big medium. Social media is a big medium, and everybody in India specifically does want cricket and Bollywood to participate in them. So you guys have so many award functions, and you also have, certainly there are opinion polls on your social media sites. So everybody does it. Everybody wants to utilize, a part and parcel of what is popular, and Bollywood is extremely popular. So one is to look at it and say, should we not be so popular that everybody uses Bollywood? One way to say is you're popular, and you're a public popular property. People are going to utilize it for whatever ends and means they wish to. So you can't question it. I'd rather that Bollywood remains popular, Indian cinema goes forth with technology, with new screenplay writing, new script writing, new actors, actresses, directors, inshallah new language to break more international boundaries. And this is part and parcel of the new age, where there are going to be things off the cuff, very fast, quickly. People will have opinion polls. I think opinion polls are like an award. Suddenly you're like, I keep reading, will this film do better, this film do better, this song will do better, this song will do better. We are in a world which is easily wants to pit each other against each other. because otherwise there's no headline. So we are in the world where hashtags matter, retweets matter, headlines matter, and it's a reality and you have to live with it. Having said that, hopefully enough of us in the film industry, in the media, can retain the inherent importance of what we do and are able to do it as and when called upon to.
And as I spoke about cinema, not about competition, but isn't it amazing that you've all had this glorious run at the box office, and especially with your films, not even talking about numbers, but the kind of films that you're doing. Akshay does 3 films a year, Amir comes back after 2 years, does a Dangal, breaks records, Salman has his own fan following, and he's box office hurricane. You are coming back with Raees and doing Dear Zindagi. There's so much work, everybody's putting in so much hard work and still experimenting and pushing the envelope. About your contemporaries and all of you, especially you 4 guys, I mean, it's incredible.
All of us, some of the ones that you don't even mention, I think it's very heartening. We've kind of started working more than even 25 years ago, and we've had a good run, and I think all I can put it down to, including myself, is that I think there is a certain amount of hard work, dedication which goes into it, innovation that goes into it, and of different varieties. I think all of us are case in point that everybody can have a different system of working, but as long as hard work is the core of that work, everything will be workable, will long last. And all the names that you mentioned, I know them personally, I've known them as friends for years, as contemporaries, as colleagues, and genuinely, I mean, all of them work extremely, extremely hard. Our timings might be different. I work at night, Akshay starts early morning, but I think the amount of work they all put in is extremely commendable, and I think if not me, all the others named that you mentioned, Amir, Salman, Akshay, Ajay, I think youngsters should take cue and keep on at it, keep on working and creating amazing cinema like these boys and guys have done.
Okay, and talking about your film again, coming back to Raees, Mahira Khan, huge outrage, Pakistani actors. Are we not engaging, according to Shah Rukh, not engaging with Pakistani actors anymore, or talent?
I don't know, you tell me, you're media, go and do an interview if you want to.
No, I'm asking you as an industry person.
I don't know, you're the media, you want to go interview, go do the interview. Put it on your channel.
Mahira?
Whoever you want.
Whoever you want, okay. But as Shah Rukh and as the industry, have you taken a stand that you won't be working with?
She's in this film, so obviously there is no stand. She's part of my film, and she was chosen as an actress, besides beyond who, where, what comes from. I come from Delhi, I'm part in the Mumbai film industry. I don't think there's any difference like that. We chose, we put it across, and the film is out, it's promoted, people are liking it, and hopefully when the film comes out, people will like the film too.
Yeah, also last 2 questions. There's always been this joke, and I mean it in a lighter sense, that you also, in a commencement speech in the US said that whenever I want to feel humble, whenever I'm feeling, too full of myself, I just take a visit to the United States, and they sort of detain me and they make me feel humble. Now that Trump's in charge today, Shah Rukh's visit to America, is it going to be any different? What
I've been there a couple of times after the elections. It was quite good here. There was no problem.
There was no problem. Now Trump is in charge, like he's taken on.
After being in charge, I've been there twice.
Okay,
like
okay. So there's been no problem. Final question to you, Shah Rukh, as I know, you are this, in spite of you being KKR's owner, you're a big cricket fan. I want to ask about Virat Kohli. What this guy is doing right now is incredible. I mean, as a cricket fan, have you been following? Some of his innings have been outstanding. This is like completely like we've never seen before stuff with Kohli. And you know him personally, so.
Yeah, he's an amazing cricketer. I think one of the best in the world at this point in time, and I think only going stronger. I think one of the reasons for Virat's excellence is his physical fitness. I spend some time with him, I chat with him, and I'm extremely inspired by the way he keeps himself fit. At such a young age, to get so dedicated so early, be the captain of all 3 formats now, very soon, I think it's going to be amazing. It's an amazing journey, and I think very inspirational and great for Indian cricket and world cricket, because I think the way he bats in all the 3 formats, including IPL, I think somewhere down the line, it takes away from one form of cricket being better than the second form of cricket being, you can actually, straddle all of them like Virat does, and I wish him all the best, and he's a treat to watch. Amazing entertainer, amazing girth, amazing dedication, and genuinely, like, we've had Sunil Gavaskar Saab, we've had Sachin Tendulkar, we've had Dhoni, we've had Rahul Dravid, we have Saurav Ganguly, we have some of the greatest cricketers, and I think that lineage continues with Virat now.
But were you surprised by how easy he makes it look? I mean, 350 chasing, first time, I had never seen anything like that. I mean, the guy is just, you know, just like you, in a sense, he's relentless. He just keeps going without just, as you said, I remember one dialogue of yours, with blinkers on, that you said, I would just led my career with blinkers on.
I think, you know, instead of, I fully respect what he does, and anyone who does the kind of achievements Virat has done, and in whichever field. But I think if you practice, it looks easy. Having said that, I'm sure it's not easy. I think it's the most difficult thing to do. But he puts in those extra efforts, like I said, to physical fitness. He spends hours doing what he does. I'm sure, like, we may think that he just walks onto the field and, you know, just goes and wields the bat. He doesn't. He, I think, practices a lot. And that is something that one should actually highlight. You know, he's an icon, he's a star, he's a hero. But I think what one should really figure out is that he puts in so much effort to be where he is. And I think if you practice, it looks easy, but it is not easy. Okay, final question to you. Have you been watching the industry sort of divided on the Jallikattu Rao in Chennai, you know? Have you been following that? Do you have a view on that? I mean, no, I've been very busy promoting here in Mehboob studio, so I've not really followed.
Versus the court, versus a lot of people coming out on the roads. I'm sure you've seen a lot of sentiment there.
No, I haven't watched television for some time. Sorry. Don't realize where it is headed at, but I hope it gets resolved in the best fashion possible. Yeah.
Okay, we'll end with Rais. A lot of one-liners again. I love the classic Shah Rukh Khan one-liners, and people have really caught on to the one-liners. So, which ones are your favorite ones? And if you can just end with one of your favorite dialogues from the film.
I like them all, yeah. In the context of the film, I think most of them will work. I think the one which everybody seems to like is Baniye ka dimag, Miyan bhai ki daring, which is kind of the hallmark of the businessman that Rais stands for. And some other ones, I think not just spoken by me, the writers have done a great job in the film. Yeah. So when you hear some of Nawaz's lines, and they're not one-liners, they're just dialogues, they're very poetically and lyrically written. So I hope everybody enjoys when they see it in the film.
Shah Rukh Khan, I'm really looking forward to this film. I've been waiting a long time. I think it's going to be worth the wait. Thank you so much for talking to us.
All
the best.
Wonderful talking to you.